Hello there, YouTube. My name is Justin Bachman. I am 16 years old. I'm a junior at Solon High School, and I am different. By looking at me, I might look like just a normal kid, but I'm very far from it. I have many things that make me different. I've got Tourette syndrome, which is a neurobiological condition, ADHD, and dysgraphia, which is a handwriting and fine motor skills disorder. Now you might be wondering, what are those? Well, Tourette's is a neurobiological condition that causes me and people affected by it to have uncontrollable twitches, movements, and vocal outbursts, all of which are called tics, all of which we can't control and are completely random. If you want to learn more about it, I'm going to put links in the description down below, so definitely check them out if you're interested in learning more. I really hope you do, because it's one of the things that makes me who I am. Now, that's me, but you might be wondering, what are you doing? Why are you doing this now? Why are you on YouTube? Well, I really want to make a difference, aside from what I'm already doing. Now, to really know who I am, I have to start in 8th grade. I was at a cross-country meet, and there were runners from about 30 different teams, including my teammates and I. Now, the officials and the referees had everybody in a circle, and they were going over the rules of the race. But as usual, because of my Tourette's, I was ticking and I was making a lot of noise. Now, the officials didn't know about my Tourette's, and so whenever I would have a tic that made noise, they thought that I was trying to be rude or trying to be obnoxious. And so they immediately told me to shut up. Now, I realized that they didn't know about my Tourette's, and so I tried to explain it. I tried to say, hey, it's a medical condition, I can't control these noises that I'm making. Nothing. Immediately, I was told to shut up again, and they weren't listening to my explanation. Now, thankfully, I had teammates who knew about my differences prior to that cross-country meet, and they were able to have my back, and they tried to explain to the referees as well, it's a medical condition, he can't control these noises and sounds that he's making. Nothing. And the key word in that last sentence was tried, because my teammates were told to shut up as well. Now, to make a long story short, I was disqualified from that race. They took my number, and 3 years later, I can still remember it, 50:33. My time wasn't allowed to count for a very, very important race. Now, after that, I was devastated, because it was really the first time that I had been out of my comfort zone where everyone was just going to be accepting of who I am and all of my differences. And so I sat down with my family after that, and I said, what can we do? I don't want this intolerance to happen to me again. And I also realized that I wasn't the only one going through it. There are all sorts of people who are different, who are getting made fun of, who are having horrible things happen to them just for being who they are. And so at our kitchen table, I came up with an idea for an event where I would have this little list of 15 charities come in, and they would all exhibit and show the people that came to the event who they were, the type of people they represented, ways they could get involved, or the way that charity could give a resource to somebody who needed it. It was called the Tolerance Fair. Now, it was the first time held on March 13th, 2011. And originally I thought, yeah, we're going to have my 15 charities and we're going to have about maybe 200 people. They're going to show up. It's going to be cool. People are going to learn. And that'll be it. Thankfully, I was wrong. I was very, very wrong. And by the time of the event, on March 13th, there were people lining up outside of the doors at the Solon Rec Center because they wanted to come to the Tolerance Fair. And my little list of 15 charities had grown to be 48 nonprofit exhibiting groups. Now, it was an amazing feeling. We had made a huge difference, and there were so many people that had learned about the differences that others have around them. But it didn't stop there. I still wanted to do something to make a difference. And so through that, I started public speaking. I now go into schools and I give my speech. It's Justin Bachman's Living Loud. And I use my differences, my Tourette's, my ADHD, my dysgraphia, and I show people that different isn't bad. I tell my stories of times I've faced things like intolerance and unintentional harm, and I use those examples to show what it looks like. And in the end, I wrap it all up by really pushing the point that different isn't bad. It just makes us who we are, and that everybody is different. Now, I try to make a difference a lot, whether it's through the Tolerance Fair or going into a school and speaking. But that's just a one-time thing. The Tolerance Fair, it's one day a year. And I'm in a school for maybe 2 or 3 hours, and then I'm gone. And there's nothing really to keep my message there. And so that's what I'm trying to do right now and right here on YouTube. I'm looking to create a show that's probably going to air every week. I don't know what day yet, I'll figure it out. And it's going to be called Everyday Differences. Every week, I'm going to interview somebody different, whether it's a color of their skin, whether it's their athletic ability, something that makes them different from a person around them. And I'm going to talk to them about who they are, what makes them who they are, what they like to do, really just getting to know them and getting to know their differences. And it's going to be a different type of person every week as well. Whether it's a friend of mine in high school, whether it's a writer for Cartoon Network, whether it's a Hollywood actor, whether it's my sibling, whether it's somebody who's an owner of a company, all kinds of different people we're really going to get to know. And Everyday Differences is going to show that no matter who we are, we've all got something in common. And that's that we're all different. Now that might not make sense now, but watch the show every week and you'll start to learn that even though we have all these things that make us different, we've still got all these things that make us human beings and make us who we are. And it's really amazing to see differences in a positive light. So I need your help. Every week after the interview portion, I'm going to leave a question. It's going to be the weekly conversation. It's going to be something to really get you involved because I want to hear what you have to say. And so this week's weekly conversation is simple. What makes you different? I want to hear what you have to say. But if you want to reach out to me, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, definitely do it. Facebook.com/Justin Bachman Speaker. Twitter and Instagram @Justin Bachman 3. And always, of course, like and subscribe the video. Comment down below to the weekly conversation. This week's What Makes You Different. I always want to hear and see what you have to say. And I love hearing from you. And never forget to embrace your differences. I'll talk to you next week.